I came here in 2012 first, and I was very cynical. Somebody trying to preach ethics is something I believe doesn't work. And so on more than one occasion I skipped this training deliberately till my colleague told me that you must go and see it for yourself before being so cynical and sarcastic about it. So I came here, stayed here for a week, and literally I never went back. Something of mine stayed back. And that is why I kept on calling Suresh ji and Reena ji back to Bhopal where I was stationed, and together we tried to work out some programs where we could rope in people and start our own little IOC center in Bhopal. I think we were way ahead of times, and the idea of setting up a center there had not come, and we had to wait a little. So this idea, we just flirted with this idea in those days and just let it rest. Till in 2017, it emerged as a full-blown affair. I'll describe that in a short while, a little while later. You see, when the political chief of your state gets up in the morning and makes an announcement that there will be something called a Ministry of Happiness, so it can both arouse a feeling of curiosity and also skepticism of how is this going to happen. We in the government are used to making provisions for infrastructure, road, water supply, power and whatnot. How is the state government going to make abundant supply of happiness to the citizens? That sounded absolutely absurd to begin with. And as a civil servant, we are trained to give certain tangible outputs to the public, which are measurable. And how is this goddamn thing going to be measured? So it was fine. It was one of those newspaper items regarding the announcement. And I won't go into the history of that and why this announcement came, because that's a long story in which I was involved in certain ways. But to cut the story short, I was bewildered when I was told that you already set up this department. And it was exasperating. What could I do with a department of this kind, with nobody except me to look after it? No team, no people, no nothing. So I kept quiet for a while, and all kinds of well-wishers, they came in, trooped in and gave me all kinds of unsolicited advices. Somebody said, you merge culture department in this man and bring in the entertainment industry. Somebody said you open casinos and bars. So, you see, in the middle of all this muck, you have to keep your sanity alive. So I thought, what do I do? So I looked around and called a couple of so-called intellectuals of the society, professors of positive psychology, vice chancellors and leaders of various sects and various institutions, whom I thought would be able to give me some clue of what is to be done. We held 2 workshops in series, and to my dismay, at the end of these workshops, I got nothing out of them. But I learned something very valuable in the process, and I learned what is it that I'm not going to do. The first lesson was that I am not going to set up any bureaucracy in this department. This would be run through volunteers. 2, I learned I am going to keep it absolutely secular. 3, I learned that I am not going to mix it up with entertainment and with stuff like that. So with these boundary conditions drawn, we set about the job. So what do? The first thing in government these days is to make a website. So we did one. And we set up a small institution which we called Rajya Anand Sansthan. This is to be the vehicle of the department. It will deliver the policies of the department. We framed the policy, we framed our objectives. I'm not going to go into that. Having set up this Raja Anand Sansthan and the website, we started the process of registering people who would be willing to register with us. And we call them messengers of joy, Anandaks. We have 40,000 of them today. And the number has grown at the rate of 100 a day. It's big enough. And at times we don't know what to do with them. And then how do we take it to the people at large? How would people understand what Anand means? So we selected about 8,000 places in the rural areas, group of panchayats, and organized what we called Anand Utsav, the festival of joy. This is how we introduced the department to the people at large. And what was it that we were doing? We pulled out people, parents, grandparents, old people, and told them to come out and play and sing and do whatever they wanted to do in their respective villages. You look at this photograph. This is a marathon. And look at the faces. You don't have, I can't focus. Look at the joy on the face. These women came out in the street and ran for the first time in their lives. Sorry. Video, please. And this is the kind of sprint races that were organized. Look at this village. And all kinds of potato race, tomato race and whatnot. They went on at 8,000 such places in the city, and if you have time, look at the BBC coverage of this event someday. Then we went on to slightly more serious affairs, and we designed a program called Alpiviram. I didn't know. I had learned about this inner conscious hearing here, and I wanted to take it to a larger set of people with the help of our team here. But my problem was that I can't say I am running IOC program. So I said we'll call it Alpiviram. Alpiviram is something, a semicolon, something, not a comma, not a full stop, something in between. And that's what we did in the morning. That's Alpiviram. You pause and you listen to your own voice. This is the program which we have taken up in collaboration with IOC, and in the last couple of months we've trained about 200 people who are going around and passing on this message in the government offices. They are all volunteers, all government servants who came on their own. Mr. Gandhi here and also Mr. Khatri is a witness to the spirit of volunteering in this program. They do it as part-time work in addition to their own. So we call it Alpiviram. You see, there is whole science of happiness going around in the world. And the science makes no sense unless you have technology. So we said we must have tools of happiness in place. Alpiviram, let me say, is one of those tools. The another tool was Anand Calendar. Just Google Raja Anand Sansthan, go to our website, you will find this calendar, which is basically every month devoted to one domain. It's act of happiness basically. So you devote 1 month to forgiveness, 1 month to relationship, 1 month to gratitude, 1 month to goals, 1 month to relationships. You do all kinds of activities which we have written down on that calendar and see if it takes you somewhere. It's your own journey. Whether you want to deploy the tool or not is absolutely your choice. I am very happy Mr. Sudhir told me in the morning that there is an enormous demand for these calendars. And let me tell you, we didn't go around selling it or advertising anything about it. It's something, if you like it, demand it, it's on the website, use it. It's for free. If you need hard copy, write to us, we'll send it to you free. But we will not go around distributing it like any Sarkari calendar in any place. I don't have time to show it because my flight is at 3 o'clock, so I'm rushing to. Then we started off something which started from Iran, which is called the Neki Ki Diwar. People come and leave their whatever surplus goods in a particular place, and those who need take it away. So this is something which is called Joy of Giving. 180 such centers are working. Half of them are working exceedingly well. The other half are just about struggling to survive. You remember those 40,000 volunteers, the messengers of joy. How do we organize them? So we started off a process called Anand Clubs. Anand, let me tell you, is a little more than happiness. I am not delved into the philosophy of Anand and the limitations of happiness, but people understand Ministry of Happiness much more than Department of Anand. So I'll restrict myself to Ministry of Happiness in describing the whole process. Anand clubs are set of people who are already working in the society, like those who donate blood, like those who arrange money for the needy, who arrange for the orphanages, the old age houses, and the welfare activities for the students, the widows and whatnot. That's already going on. We believe that for a happier society, the joy of giving and the joy of sharing is something which needs to be recognized, and recognized in a way it should be. Anand Club is one such effort where people register their clubs on our website. We have 270 such clubs already online. They have a chat room and they share their experiences. We keep sending them our Alp-Viram material. We keep sending them other acts of kindness and acts of happiness which they can indulge in. And we have also designed a program where we invite them, train them, talk to them about the tools of happiness and the manner in which those tools can be deployed in the society. I'm sure in the days to come, they are going to be very effective vehicles of the delivery system that we are trying to design. And it's all voluntary. There was not even a single advertisement in the newspapers saying that please register Anand clubs. It all happened through word of mouth. Now this is something which somebody was mentioning in the morning was whatever you teach today is the society tomorrow. We have picked up 30 schools in Bhopal and we have made certain modules, all in-house work, on acceptance, gratitude, relationship, goals, giving. Goals basically is related to resolution, sankalp that we talk of. These are the 5 domains we have picked up for the children. And we've trained the teachers to take these modules to the students, teach them what does acceptance mean, what does forgiveness mean, what does gratitude mean. And the first feedback has just come in a couple of days ago. And I think if the students in the school are demanding more, it's proof enough of its initial success. I designed it, I am promoting it, so if I say it is working, I am an interested party. So don't go by what I am saying. We will ask the IOC to hold a third-party assessment once we have matured and arrived at a particular level, and then see what IOC has to tell us about this, or any other organization for that matter, to really tell us whether this is working on the minds of the students, whether it is productive or not. She's telling me that my time is over. This we call Anand Sabha. It is a meeting of happiness. It's a classroom work basically in the schools. And then we have designed Anand Shivers, the camps of joy. The beauty is we have selected only three organizations, IOC, Art of Living and Isha Foundation Coimbatore. They hold 4-day program where everybody in the state government is allowed to participate. Everybody, when I say, means right from the peon to the secretary of the department is eligible to participate in it. The government pays for it and he is going to get himself registered on the website, first come, first serve. We have already started off with Art of Living and Isha Foundation. The one in Pachgani is scheduled sometimes from 12th of March. We have all experienced what Pachgani is. So the purpose is similar experiences wherever they may be available should be passed on to as many people irrespective of their place in the hierarchy in the government. It makes no difference. In fact, the lower you are in the rung of hierarchy, the more important you are to the people of the society. That's the cutting edge. We have started off Anand Fellowship. Anybody interested here? We'll give you a lot of money for this. And I'm also going to start off with an internship program very soon because I saw all these interns here and I'm pretty impressed. So they're all going to come to us. So there's going to be a competition between you and me and IOC in a manner of saying. So I'm going to take them away. So this is fellowships for research, fellowships for PhD, and then awards for doing good work in this field, and then a happiness course which will be started online in a couple of weeks' time. It is called A Life of A Life of Happiness and Fulfillment. This is an online course. It is a 13-hour video course. It is basically designed by Raj Raghunathan, who is in Texas University. He's written a very wonderful book called If You Are So Smart, Why Aren't You Happy? He runs this course on Coursera platform. We borrowed it from him free. We are translating the entire thing into Hindi, and we'll be launching it for everybody in the country on our website in a couple of weeks' time. And then, how do you measure it? I don't know. So we have collaborated with IIT Kharagpur, who are designing the questionnaire. UN comes up with a report of happiness, and they say India is placed at 118th. Just imagine. And the survey size is 3,000 people in a population of 1.25 billion. So we can all laugh at that report. How are we going to do is something, it's a very elaborate exercise. Our workshop will conclude the process and the questionnaire on 22nd of February. I think the first happiness survey in the country will start sometimes in May this year in Madhya Pradesh. Thank you.